Okay, my friends, I am so excited today to introduce you to my dear friend, Amanda Slade. We've known each other for years, and she has incredible growth and expansion in her business in the last few years. And I just, we were connecting, and I asked if she would come and tell her story to you. So thank you for joining us, and you have a special treat today. I'm excited to share Amanda with you. Amanda, thank you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank
So
you
good. Thank you for
for
being here. Celebrating
I
your life.
love it. I
Yeah.
love being here. I love always when you and I are connecting because every time I get off a Zoom with you or a call with you, I just feel so uplifted. And I really do know it's the divine working through us and connecting us. So it's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. And you have a remarkable story, and you have kind of some fun, quirky parts of your story that I didn't really get to know till you came and hang out with me in Texas. And there were some kind of fun things there about sales and life and travels. And so, again, the goal for today's call is to bring your message, and however you want to bring that, my friend. I really trust that you have the words and the authority and the wisdom to
Yeah.
share what this listener needs to hear, right? Including me. I feel like I'm your listener today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days and how you got here.
Okay, great. Thank you. I want to start out with how I arrived here. I actually grew up with all the shoulds and the have tos and the codependency. And, I graduated from high school, went to college, got the corporate jobs, and actually, went up the corporate ladder to the point of being a VP of sales and marketing. And I was in very competitive industries, cosmetics, fragrance, pharmaceutical marketing, that type of thing. And then one day, we were actually moving me to the New York office. And that first day in the office, my soul came in and took over and got me fired.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? What? And it was literally this energy just came over me, within me, and out through my mouth came what I was really feeling.
Mhm.
And 2 hours later, I got fired. And and I didn't have a plan B. The good news was I've always been spiritual, right? And
Yes.
I always knew that things happen for a reason. And as much as my egoic mind was kind of like, oh crap, because we didn't have a plan B. And I just went, okay, what am I to do next?
Mhm.
And I actually took about 3, 4 years, one being back on my spiritual path, doing energetic healing so that I wouldn't recreate that same situation,
Smart. Yeah.
of shoulds
Smart.
and have tos.
Yeah.
And I kept asking, what is my soul's purpose? What
Mhm.
is the plan here? And now, doesn't mean that I went willingly. There was times I was kicking and screaming, and
Oh,
my guides would come in, divine would come in. I'm going, you want me to do what? Kind of
what? Yeah.
thing.
You're the wrong person. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
And then in 2001, the Diamond Code Creative System downloaded, channeled in. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what am I doing with this? What is this? Kind of thing. And
Mhm.
over the next couple, 3 years after that, I actually worked with it. And it's a system that's all based on sacred geometry, spiritual principles, but also life and business strategies.
That's one.
Because it's not about being the woo out here and then not getting it done, right? And not being the soul's expression of who we are. It's about, oh, what wants to come in and through me so that I can make a difference in the world. That what is my purpose here?
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for 25 years now. Like, it is the 25th anniversary of the system next year.
It
I'm
is. Oh
like,
my
what?
gosh. Okay. So that's just good, right? Like you can't make this stuff up. So think
No.
about what's coming with the book and the movie and a lot of other stuff that we haven't shared yet here. And think about the timing of that.
Oh, and here's the beautiful timing of this.
Yeah.
So
Tell me.
if people do not understand, we are always being impacted by astrology, numerology, because
Mhm.
everything's energy, right?
Yes.
We're energy. The world is energy. The cosmos is energy, right? So if we don't understand that this year, 2025, has been a year of completion,
Mhm.
culmination, and also contribution. So you could be
Intelligence.
completing old relationships, old ways of doing it, completing projects. We published this book this year,
Yes.
Evolving to Your All. That's a culmination as well. And then what's your contribution? So you may be shifting up your contribution, what you're doing in the business, or what ways that you're contributing out in the world. But as we go into 2026, oh my gosh, 2026 is a 1 year, but it's not just any new 1 year. It
Mhm.
is 2026 is a 1 year for the next 9 years. It's
Wow.
setting
Oh,
up your foundation.
that's
What
crazy.
what you are energetically, whatever you are energetically embodying, believing, intending, it is what you're putting out to the universe, and it is what you'll build upon for the next 9 years. So
Mhm.
2026 is like what I've never been this excited about a new year. And I'm like super excited.
I love you. Okay, okay. Well, let me just say, this is a very typical Amanda. And one of the reasons I adore you is, this is your time to talk about you. And of course, you move right into service. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. How am I
Right.
going to get this out right now? Because everybody needs to hear it.
Yeah.
So good. I love you. And it's so synchronistic, right? And I would imagine because God is divine and he works these things outside of what we do as mere mortals. I've been so aware of this year as what am I letting go of? What am I
Yeah.
releasing that no longer serves? What's the version of me? As I told you before we got on, I was crying this morning. What's there that I'm releasing? And don't worry, everybody, tears of catharsis, I would say, more than
Yeah.
tears of pain. But this, like the releasing of letting that go and then shoring up my capacity to really be in leadership and thinking, my dear, because I turned 60 this year. I've shared this with you. I turned 60 this year. So I feel like I've got a 10-year plan of like what this looks like for the next decade. So when you said, I was like, oh, come on, you can't make that up,
Yeah. You
right?
you
But
cannot
everybody's
make
so
this
good.
up.
Oh,
You
good.
can
Yeah. So we got to get it out to everybody because they need to know that it's a time of inspiration, right?
absolutely.
So much. There's so much pain in the world right now, and folks are really hurting. And I'm very aware of our work around mental wellness and mental health and this wave of human rights of what it is to be a human. Can you talk to me a little bit about your own understanding of what's happening for us? I know this is going off on a tangent, as I said it might, but I feel like that's what brings us together, you and I. What's your awareness of what's happening and unfolding for us as a species, my friend?
Yeah. So we're in an up leveling. And I want to go back to one thing that you said,
Mhm.
like you're leaving an old version of you behind. We
Yeah.
all are. And because what we're doing is we're moving into a becoming of the new self, but
Mhm.
also what's happening is in the world. So individually, we're all doing that, right?
Mm.
So what no longer serves, what no longer works is being left behind if we let it. Not everyone will. They want their story. They like their struggle and their suffering, their pain. But if you're really committed to living a full life, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
being fully of contribution, whatever you came here to do, then you're going to let that go, going, yeah,
Yeah.
bring it on.
Right.
So, what's happening in the world? So, we got so much upheaval, right?
Mhm.
Confusion, chaos,
Mm.
some dark things happening.
Yeah.
But that's because so much light and love is coming into this world. And
Yes.
moved into the Aquarian age a couple, 3 years ago. And that Aquarian age is about the good for all, not for
Mm.
some. And we're moving out of the third dimension energies of fear, competition, me versus we, that don't collaborate together. And we're moving into the vibrations of the fifth dimension, which is about love, joy, peace, prosperity, abundance, but not just for a few, but for all. So anything that's in conflict of that, right? Incongruent with that is what's being revealed. And so we're going to go through this for years, actually, right? Um,
It's like it's not a it's not, there's no quick fix here. It's
no,
really that
no.
metamorphosis, right? We're in
And
that little space, and then that there's that place now where it's that next, it's the patience. Scott
yeah.
always talks about Scott's my husband talks about praying for patience, and I just think God's timing and divine timing is rarely, in my experience, my timing. I got a
Right.
whole other idea about how fast things should be done or how slow, or I need more time. And then God's like, okay, I got this fixed, right? So it's just like learning to walk in faith and walk with the divine is always so, it's
Well, and it's
awesome.
like what we were talking about earlier is, we're opening up, we're breaking open, if you will,
Mhm.
to hold more capacity, more
Yes.
light, more love, more what we're the stewards of.
Yes.
And was kind of chuckling. You're saying I just turned 60. I'm turning 70
I
in
know.
the
How
next
exciting.
year,
Congratulations.
and this is
Thank you.
actually in our Diamond Light Circle. We have women in their in 60s and 70s, and what I'm saying to them, you have this next decade.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? But
So
not
great.
just do with it, but what are you going to claim for yourself? Give yourself permission to experience and to have in your life, and so not just for business or contribution and
Yes.
building your legacy, but are you going to love your legacy? Are you going to lead your legacy? Are you going to live your legacy?
Yay.
Not
Yay.
just about leaving it behind. You
Yeah.
are it now. And so
So good.
we're we're having a lot happening in the world just recently. Just look at all the violence that has happened. And but this is where the light is being shined upon the mental illnesses, the things that are so being fed by dark energy,
Right.
that it's like, what are we going to do about it? And one of the things that I say to my clients is stay in your lane. If you're
Yes.
called to do something about it, then do something about it. But if you're called to stay in your lane, to be of service in the way you are, that is the contribution the world needs. So
But
you
I want to
came here
pause
for
there
that.
because I think that's the part where I feel like, again, our community predominantly we're women, right? Because we're
Right.
limitless women, but occasionally we'll have a few amazing men come through that are part of our partnerships. And I would say, that as women, I see so many of my girlfriends and sisters take ourselves out of the game, and there's no one like you. Whoever you
Right.
are listening to this, whether it's now or in the future, there's only one of you. No
Yeah.
one has your fingerprint. No one has your DNA exactly like you. No one has your iris. I mean, I just think we're learning more and more about the uniqueness of us. And one of the things you just said, Amanda, that I wanted to just pause and reiterate and confirm and affirm is that the world needs each of us to
Yeah.
just do what we're here to do. I'm not here to do your work. You're not here to do my work. Different people are not here to do each other. Everybody's here to do their own individual calling. And, as a faith-based person, I believe that that's a spiritual gift. And
Yes.
if you just look at science, if you want to bring spirituality and science together, if you look at science, there's no one like you. So
Right.
having this journey, one of the things you and I've been talking about is environment. I want to talk a little bit about the power of that and the move that you just made, because I'm really proud of you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to come see you there. And I think the piece too around the idea of like, it's not just about work. Right.
Yes.
And how do we enjoy the blessings of our day? One of my favorite things that Joel Osteen says is have the rest of your years be the best of your years. Right. So
Absolutely.
what does it look like to really embrace that? It's not about someday I'm gonna, but now here it is. So talk to me a little bit about environment and the move that you chose to make, because it's actually a great story.
Yeah. So it's really important for our to give yourself permission. Well, what's coming in to be seen.
Mm,
and not to compare yourself with others.
yeah.
Again, going back to you're unique, you are here for a specific purpose, you have a soul plan, and it's important to connect to that. I listen. I had to learn how to listen. In
Right.
my corporate days, it was go, 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 do, do, do. And I pushed and I chased and all of that old energy. And then when I realized I was like, what's next? I knew I had to go within.
Uh-huh.
And so I listen and I really feel energy and I feel when something's in total alignment for me. But I had to learn how to do that.
That's
And
important.
actually, the Diamond Code Creative System with its codes helped me with that.
Mhm,
But so, it was like I knew last year I was going to move
mhm,
because where I was living, it was a great landing spot because it happened right after I left my ex and I was going through a divorce. So it was a really safe and, I felt safe in this spot. But after a couple of years of really, get my feet back on the ground and doing all the healing work around that and so on. I'm like, I looked around, I went, in fact, I think it was coming back from you.
oh, really?
We did our
Coming back from
VIP
Texas.
day,
Yeah,
and
interesting.
I went, I do not want to live in this environment anymore.
Yeah,
It
interesting.
was too old for me, too
Mhm.
stagnant. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a lot of energy. I have a
Right.
lot of life to live.
Yes.
So I got very clear and I used one of the tools in the system called the manifestation template, which
Mhm.
we're going to give as a gift.
Oh, good, good,
And
good, good to know.
and and I wrote out my ideal place, right?
Mhm.
And the ideal place was I wanted to be by the beach because I
Right.
wanted to go and walk on the beach, do a bike ride on the beach with my little dog Harley.
Mhm.
And I wanted, if possible, I wanted to see the ocean and the beach from my home.
Wow.
And I didn't know what that was going to look like, but that's what I put out to the universe, to God, and said,
Great.
okay, lead the way. And that's what I do. I give it up to God, to the universe. And I'm like, all right, lead
Show
the
me.
way, show me the way.
Beautiful.
And so as I got serious about looking for a new place, all of a sudden I got this thought, and these are God thoughts, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I get I
Little
got
nudge.
this thought that, hey, consider apartment kind of building or a high rise. And I'm like, hadn't even considered that. And I
Right,
was
right.
looking in the area. I already knew I wanted to move into the Long Beach area
Mhm.
because they have amazing beaches and these amazing bike paths and
Right.
so on.
Beautiful community.
So I was just like, okay, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, all of a sudden popped up on the Zillow or
Yeah,
Redzim, whatever,
yeah.
was this place
How good.
that I now live in. And
Yay.
it's the second place I looked at. I walked in, I'm like, this is my place.
Done. Yeah.
Right.
Done.
Done, 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 done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then, I'm like, okay, good, because this is the environment I want to live in.
Mhm.
So that was that. So the movie came along.
Oh, tell us about the movie. I think that this is kind of a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
This is
So
a big
this
deal. Yeah.
so this movie came along. This gal had asked me to be a part of it, and I'm like, "I don't think so." Because there was an investment to it and so on. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't even know how I'm gonna do that."
Right, right.
After working with you, it was soon after that this came along. I'm like, if I can do that, I can do this.
Right, why
I'm like,
not?
if God's supporting me here, he'll support me here if this is mine to do.
Right.
Again, I feel it. I know when it's in
Mm,
alignment. It's not a push. It's not a have to. And so it ends up. So I'm in this movie called Pillars of Power.
mhm.
And this movie has Dr. Joe Vitelli, John Asroff, Marie Diamond, now Michael Beckwith,
That's
Mark
beautiful to hear.
Victor Hansen.
Yeah,
So all
yeah.
of these
Killer.
people that were in the original The
The
Secret.
secret. Yeah.
So this movie is really kind of the Secret 2.0 or
Mhm.
more,
Yeah.
because it's bringing in the other components that were part of the secret that needs to be, because it is about science and spirituality
Right.
coming
There's more
together.
than just the hoping and wishing and thinking or even our
Exactly.
prayers, right? We
Exactly.
have to be in partnership with the divine to actually have manifestation come together.
We have to have energetic alignment. So if
Yes.
I didn't think I was worthy of the movie, that wouldn't have come forward, right?
Mm, yeah.
If I didn't think I had something to offer the movie and the value that I bring, it wouldn't have come forward. It would have been more me trying to chase after it, or I need to be in this movie kind of thing. And so it came to me. It dropped in my lap.
Yeah.
And, the gal came back and said, "Are you sure? Don't want to." And I'm
We
like,
really feel
"Yeah,
like you're supposed to be in this movie. Yeah. You're
exactly.
the person. Yes.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it has to do with vibrational match, because everything's energy, and this is the science part of it, but the spirituality part of it is the God part, the divine part, the universe part. Because
Right.
if you're not opening to receiving what the hints, if you will, the
Yeah.
nudges, and even sometimes the pushes, then but you don't feel that you're worthy of or valuable for it, then it won't match, right? There won't be a
It
vibrational
won't or
match.
it won't come or you won't actually hear it, right? So it's often like I think again, one of my very early coaches, when I marketing coach was Fabienne Fredrickson, and she said, God rarely sends the check in the mail. What I think is the way I understood it and I wrote about in my first book is embracing synchronicity. I feel like God shows us and sometimes like, oh no, not for me. Those little nudges like, "Hey, we want you to be in this movie." You're like, no, I'm not really sure. But then it comes again. And now
Right.
it's like, hey, pay attention. And if we don't, it's okay. It may go to someone else. That
It
which needs to
will.
evolve is going to come, but that which is yours, I'm very impressed. And I think that this is a part, Amanda, that I feel like you are such a master in, and it's probably why they wanted you to be in the movie, of listening to that voice, right?
Yeah.
Like I think how could we help more listeners here, more women or watchers if they're on YouTube? How could we help them to really trust and understand and feel and hear that inner voice, whether it's coming through for you as a faith-based person and you understand the Holy Spirit is what Jesus left behind, right? That could be one interpretation depending on your path, or it could be just your knowing, right? It could be that, we're all very spiritual beings. And as we learn to embrace ourselves as made in the image of the Creator, how do we hear that voice, Amanda? How do we strengthen that listening?
Well, I think first of all, you have to slow down.
Yeah,
And so many of us grew up with the doing,
that's
and
right.
we really push forward, we make it happen, we try to figure it out. All of that's egoic based,
It
right?
is, and we
Yeah.
think we're doing it ourselves, right? I mean, my daughter has even said, I don't wanna interrupt your thought there. Thank you for letting me interrupt here, but it's been wanting to come through. My daughter Erica has often said to me, like, "You were very different when I was a child growing up." She's now gonna be 30 this year. She said, again, you were making things happen, but it was you making things happen." And I said, "No, no, no, no. I thought I was making things happen. I didn't realize how divinely guided and protected I
Oh,
actually." And so,
oh,
hey,
I can tell you there are
what a
so
lesson.
many times that
What a
I
lesson.
was protected in ways that I didn't even know. And if
Incredible.
I had gone down a certain path, or even
Right.
if you get in the car and go down a certain road,
Right.
there is something that all of a sudden, like, oh, no, go over here, not there.
Right.
And, just like in your story, I mean, accidents happen and they become big wake up calls. We lose
Exactly.
our jobs. Losing my job was a big wake up call. And I had already been back on the spiritual path, but it was like
Mhm.
I wasn't listening enough. And that's where God, the my guides, my soul, the universe was getting my attention like, hello, you have something else to do
Just
here. And
yeah,
it's not that.
yeah.
And know that we will take care of you. We will protect you. We will provide for you. But the egoic mind wants to stay where what it knows, right? It thinks it's keeping you safe and protected. It wants to stay with the familiar. So what I had to do, and this is for everybody, is
Sure.
let go of my egoic mind, actually lift my egoic mind up into the divine mind of me,
Mhm.
and really allow for what was coming through, what the guidance I was being given. And guidance can come in so many different ways. Now
Right.
I'm very clear audience, so I hear things.
That's a good point. It's important because
Yeah.
sometimes you just know, sometimes you see
Yeah.
something, you're like, oh, wait a second,
Yeah.
that looks familiar. Sometimes you
So
hear
I mean,
something. So knowing
you
that about your own guidance is important.
yeah, knowing about your own guidance and your own clear gifts, but the
Mhm.
message could come from a billboard. All of a sudden, a book falls off the shelf,
That's right.
right?
That's
Kind of thing.
right.
But I'm clairaudient, and there was after I got fired, I was trying to put a proposal together because I was still doing marketing for some clients, and I couldn't think. I had this huge headache, and I kept hearing, "We want to talk to you."
And you're like, ooh, what?
And just to the point I looked around with someone behind me kind of
So
thing,
wild. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we want to talk with you. And
Mhm.
finally I couldn't think and I couldn't get this proposal done. I'm like, all right, what
Right.
do
Right. Tell me.
yeah. So they actually had me get a pad of paper, get a
Mhm.
recorder, and they channeled through me and gave
Wow.
me this amazing. In fact, as I'm saying that, I'm like, oh, I gotta, because I wrote this down, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Look
So
back
good
on it.
reminder.
But it was really the guidance of we need you to move on from this to this.
Mhm.
And so again, I'm clear audience. So and I'm also clear cognitive, which means I just know because I know.
Right.
And I had to get my egoic mind used to that because it wanted to know why I know and
Right,
why
right,
I
right.
do.
Or question, is this really
Yeah.
true? Or what I mean, all the stuff that the mere what I call our mere mortal awarenesses start popping in there, right?
And I think the more that you do trust it, the
Mhm.
more that you listen and trust and actually gather evidence about, oh, wow, look at how this led me here, to
Right.
here.
Right.
Instead of gathering the evidence of fear is finding evidence that appears real. And
Mhm.
I move fear into focus energies to alter results. So
Focus. Okay, pause on that one. That's a good
yeah.
one. So focus energies
To alter
to
results.
alter results. Okay.
Because
Interesting.
let's say you're stretching, you're stepping out, right? Doesn't mean that you're not going to be afraid that fear
Right.
won't come up. But when it comes, use that energy and transform that energy, focus energies to alter results.
Fabulous.
And when you do that, and when I started really doing that, okay, I don't like this. What do I want instead? Or,
Right.
oh, this is scary to do this. Yeah, it's scary. Let's do it. You
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know?
All the good stuff that lives at the edge of our comfort zone. I've been listening to one of my friends, Krista Shore's book, and they're just talking about again the comfort zone and how that's really not your friend. It's not your friend to stay
No.
comfortable, right? So it's a balance of being supported in our environment, being healthy and well in our bodies, being really in relationship with ourselves and others who
Yeah.
are sharing the values of moving forward, and then walking in faith, right? Like really thinking about what are the actions I can do today. I think that's another thing I'd be curious about your take on
Mhm.
as a person who's mature, right? Thank you for sharing. As we are elders and often in the community, Amanda, having conversations with focused on our legacy and our impact, looking back to the next generation of leaders and saying, what are the things I wish I had known when I was 20 or 30 or 40 years old that I know today? And one of the things you just touched on that I thought was important is looking when you get to this season of life, right? We get to be in this celebration of the season of giving. What I think is interesting is that we can look back and say, hey, that thing that seemed so tough did not take me out of the game. I'm still here. I'm still here and I'm
Right.
well and I'm blessed.
Right.
And I think often when you're young and you're struggling, it's not easy to have perspective because you don't have a lot of, the evidence, right?
Right.
The
Yeah.
historical data to draw on to know you're still going to make it. So what would you say to a young person, maybe a younger version of yourself, if you were looking at that situation?
I what came in on that, Laura, was don't be afraid to make a mistake or you
Mm,
fail,
yeah, don't be.
because mistakes or failures or what you perceive as a failure is actually a learning tool. It
That's right.
goes, okay, this didn't work, or this part worked, but this didn't work. So I think so many people stop themselves. They get
I
in
do too.
sideways, right?
I do too. Yeah.
And because they're afraid.
Yeah.
And again, if you move that fear into focus energies to alter results, you then take you take next steps. And sometimes you take bigger risks.
Right.
And those risks turn out, sometimes they don't. But if you can just go, oh, okay, well, this challenge became the opportunity for me to learn. What do I need to heal? What did I attract here
Hmm.
that created this situation or this person in my life? And
Right.
then healing that, and then what am I growing? How am I evolving because of this?
Right. Right.
And and so I think there's that. And second of all, is trust yourself, believe in yourself.
Love that.
And again, you might make a mistake, but that will just get you further down the line to know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want. So
Right.
many people don't even know that, you know?
Well, and I think having a strong, clear vision is
Yes.
one of those things that sounds great, but if you haven't achieved that or you don't have clarity, I find also that when I have my own dark nights of the soul or someone around me is struggling, it's often that lack of clarity. And
Yeah.
what I find is that when you get clear and then you choose to commit, then you stay on track and not let the things that seem like distractions or hard things or like, don't let that be the evidence that it didn't work out.
Right.
Let that just be the thing that you're like, okay, I'm not choosing to bring this forward with me. It doesn't serve the bigger vision. And I think often, especially when we've had, there's not one person who hasn't had their own experience of trauma or something they heard as a child or something that they carry with them, right? So we've got those
Yeah.
old messages from the past, blessing that, releasing it, saying, thank you. I don't need protection here. It's okay. I'm going to keep moving forward. That's the part that I think takes practice. And it's like a muscle, it gets stronger the more often you do it, right? I think that's the piece of celebrating being in this season of life. Of we're not done yet. And we've got a whole lot of gratitude for all that's unfolded for us so that we can be strong today.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the dark night of the soul.
Uh-huh.
I actually consider it the dark night of the personality egoic self.
Oh, yes, of the ego. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because the
Better
ego
perspective. I
goes, well, you want to do what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, we've all been
and
there.
and
But,
and it will keep you, yeah, it will take you into
mm,
darkness to
yeah,
keep you from not doing that.
interesting.
And so I like looking, because I think my soul knows exactly what to do. The
Right.
soul is totally um plugged in to the divine, to the universe, to the plan. And so it's trying to guide us. But what happens is our personality egoic self gets in the way, like, I don't know if I could do that. And instead of going, well, if you're giving me it, I guess I can do that.
And
So,
that's an interesting perspective too, right? So if you're putting this, if something is yours and
right.
it keeps showing up for you, and I think again that maybe the spiritual practice for me, Amanda, is in remembering that I don't have to have the how figured out, right?
Exactly right.
That's
You
that's
never
a
have
big
to have
that's a
that.
big place to say, okay, I can't see how, but please
Mhm.
show me what I can do today to move towards that destiny that you have given me, right? This opportunity that you put in front of me. It's like with you with the movie, like, okay, I've got the invitation. Maybe I didn't feel prepared. Now I'm like, okay, the invitation's come again. How did I would say how, but how did you move forward with that? You just chose to take the actions one day at a time, I would imagine. That's
Exactly right. Well,
right.
and I actually, again, I sat down with it to go, okay, what do you want me to do? What
Right.
is in the highest order here? And I just kept getting yes.
Yes.
And,
Beautiful.
it's like, we'll work everything, the how will work out,
And how will
how
yeah. Yeah.
the money, everything will work out.
Right.
It is a yes. And I want to go back to the piece that you were
Mm,
talking about, the vision,
mhm,
because if you've got to start someplace, if you're not intentional and deliberate with what you desire, and start creating a vision both for yourself personally and
mhm,
professionally. It's not an
mhm.
either or, it's an
Right.
and. If you don't do that, then God doesn't know what you want. The
So
universe
good.
doesn't know. It's like going into a restaurant, ordering a steak and
Yeah.
going, "Well, how would you like it? And
Yes.
what sides do you want?"
Right.
If you don't give at least some ideas to the divine. Now, I want you to know the divine has even a greater plan
They
than
know.
what we have.
Exactly.
So I can't tell you how many times, it's now been 3 times, where I've moved to amazing places.
Mhm.
I've envisioned it, but I didn't know how I was
How
going
that
to
would
do
go.
it.
Yeah.
And same with the movie and same with the book and same with my business. I didn't
Yes.
know how it was all going to occur. But what I did was I listened and followed the energy.
Yeah.
Following the energy then takes you to the next steps, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I did that as a willing participant, and it's
Mhm.
not about being in servitude or a servant, it's
Yeah.
actually about being in service of. And
Yeah.
as I did that, then everything else just continually unfolded.
Well,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, because you and I've worked together and I've been behind the scenes in your systems, I will say a couple of things. One is that your ability to stay focused and take action is fantastic, and that's why you get amazing results, in my experience.
yeah,
The other thing is because your systems are very clean and organized. And
right.
this is without somebody working with you, they may not know these things, but I'm going to put my 2 cents in that if someone is struggling with, and I'm just covered in goosebumps I'm saying this to you, but if somebody is struggling with gaining clarity
Yeah.
on their own vision, you are the right person to work with.
Oh,
When people come to me, they got to be clear so we can fly, right? Like, but
right.
I think that that's a place. There's probably a divine partnership between you and I and our community and your community because there are so many women that I meet that are struggling with
Yeah.
getting that clarity first so that they can come and be in my world where we fly. So I think that that's an important thing to bring forward in your work. You want to speak a little bit about your system.
Yeah. Well, and so thank you for sharing that because
Yes.
that it is about, I can't tell you how many women start with me, they have no idea what they want to do next.
They feel that yearning, right? They know
Yeah.
it's here, but they can't get clear about
Yeah.
the details,
So
right? Yeah.
they may be just transitioning out of corporate into
Mhm,
what do I do next?
mhm.
They might be, they're in careers and they hate it, that kind of thing. They just know there's more
Take back
and
the
there's
nudge.
something missing.
Mhm.
And that alignment piece, that clarity is so important. But how I work with people is help them get clear by connecting at a soul level. And
That's perfect.
the Diamond Code Creative System, because it works with science and spirituality, it bridges that physical and spiritual together.
Yes.
And it's so that they have so much of a resonance with
Yes.
what comes in for them. And their awareness opens up. Using the system,
Yeah.
awareness opens
Yeah.
up.
And
It
then they can
accelerates.
get the detail. I think that's the part,
Yeah.
Amanda, I have a lot of friends who move in the spiritual realm that don't have the science and the systems that you have behind the scenes. And that's the part that I'm saying, because I've been behind the scenes, I know that you actually back up, and that's why your people get results
Yeah,
because it's the combination of what's in the gifted from the divine with what's in the pragmatic. So how do we implement and integrate in the natural world, right? You have a very important system that people need to learn if they're feeling that they need help with getting clarity. I believe your system can help them get there.
absolutely. And I teach them how to use the system
Yes.
themselves.
Again
They
and
don't
again.
need me all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Teach
Get it.
them how to use the system so
Love
they
that.
have something that they can go to every single day.
Mm,
You pray every single day, right? And
yes,
meditate.
we
I do the same.
mm,
And I activate the codes
yes.
every day
Beautiful.
because if I don't activate the codes, my energy could be all over the
Right.
place. How
Right.
I keep focused and centered and connected is I activate the codes.
Yeah.
So they have a very practical way of helping us because they have a divine self consciousness to them. They were designed based on sacred geometry. The
Yeah.
whole universe is constructed on sacred geometry, which was founded through love. So they work at that level and
Beautiful.
multidimensional levels. We are spiritual beings having a physical body experience.
That's
And
right.
so it's about embodying that and bringing it into our physical bodies and then expressing it out. And
Gorgeous.
so the system accelerates healing and transformation. So if you got junk in the way, which we all do, we,
Check
you
in the
know,
trunk.
we
Yeah.
we've had the trauma, we've had
Yeah. Yeah.
pain, we've
I
had
got it.
conditioning, programming, imprints from our families. We also have encodings, lineage encodings. Many women will not let themselves be seen and
It's
will not
hard.
let
It's so
themselves
hard.
be
Mm.
powerful
Mhm.
because of what's happened in the lineage of women in the
That's right.
past.
That's right.
Because we've been so powerful in other lifetimes. The matriarch was very powerful in a lifetime, in lifetimes, but we were diminished, we were killed, we were maimed, we were burned at the stake, kind of thing.
Well, and I can tell you that I will say that, again, to take off to be out of the closet with this, I remember the first time I had a past life regression and I was assassinated. And I
Yes.
and
Oh,
I
I just got chills on that. Wow.
it was not easy. I was being called to go to Ireland and I was like, why? There was no reason to go to Ireland. And I said to Scott, so I'm being called. He's like, when are we going? I'm like, well, you're not invited. I like, I have this women's thing that's coming. This is in 2015. And it really,
Wow.
the experience transformed my life in so many ways. And it's a whole nother podcast episode, right? But I would
Yeah.
say that the piece around the cellular remembering
Yes.
it not being safe. And so there's the patterning, like you're saying, and I'm glad that we went there because I would say this, Amanda, it doesn't show up as like, oh, this clarity of a past life thing. It shows up as this doesn't feel safe, this doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, and we can't always put our finger on it, right?
Right.
So your work supports us in remembering and then healing.
And healing it, actually going all the way
Yes.
back to the origination of
Mhm.
that pattern
That's right.
into the past life. Not
Yeah.
that you have to remember it or relive it. It's not about that.
Relive it. Yeah, it's different.
But it is about knowing this energy is bleeding through and keeping you from moving forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And this goes back to what I was saying before about kind of that inner voice or that some of the things we remember from this lifetime of
yes.
trauma is, thank you for that. And I'm well, and it's a new day, right? It's time to move forward.
Well, and here's what they want to bring forward
Mhm,
is it's so important this lifetime. Everyone in my sphere, in your sphere,
mhm,
came here again for a purpose, but also came here to heal the past, this
mm,
lifetime, other lifetimes. And because we're complete with that, if we allow ourselves to be complete, it's so important that people do their inner work, their inner healing and transformation because you came here to do that. So when you come back again, you don't have to relive that and recreate that. Because
mm,
if we don't heal it at that cellular level, And at that energetic level, we will repeat it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people don't get is why do I keep on stopping myself? Because that
Right. Why do I
pattern,
keep feeling this way? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
And
grief.
so the system actually helps to accelerate that healing and transformation. But then
Right.
it takes it to the next level,
Mhm.
creation and manifestation
Right.
and our expansion and evolution. Because great, we healed this. Now what? Great. Now you're ready to create and manifest the next piece for yourself.
Beautiful.
You are evolving. You're expanding now into that new version of you, like what we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this goes, yay, now we can become that.
Exactly. Exactly. But we're creating from a very different place.
Exactly, because we don't
Very
have that energy rolling around within us and actually getting in our way. There's not energetic blocks.
so
And so as you create new thoughts, new feelings, new beliefs, new perceptions, thus new patterns, behaviors, habits, and actions that create different results.
ta-da!
Yay!
Yay. All right. Well, I know we've gone long today,
Yeah.
and I'm just so grateful for you and so grateful for the steward you are of your own divine destiny. I just am excited to celebrate with you, my friend.
Yeah.
Really, this next season of life and this next blessing and this next iteration in the new year. And I just can't wait to get this message out to more people. So, well, how do we connect with you? I want to make sure we get this on film so we can record it and then get it out to the people, right? Let them
Yeah.
know.
Well, so I talked about the manifestation template.
Right.
So I've given you a link to a free gift. You get to
Perfect.
download that for free. And
Great.
please do that right away. As soon as you hear about
Yeah.
that you watch this. Why? Because you want to really strategize, envision your next decade.
I can't wait to get
Yeah,
it.
and it
I'm
will
excited.
help to do that. So we have the co-createyoursuccess.com/manifest your all, but you're going to give them the link too. But
Yes, we
the
will.
other thing, if I hope that people will check us out, and if you're able to do this, come to our January. It's our 6th annual one. I can't believe
Mhm.
it. I always
Okay.
do a kickstart for the year. Why? Because I'm very passionate, if you can't tell, about people really manifesting their all
Yes.
and people really living their soul's purpose, their plan, their path, and prospering from it,
Yes.
having impact and abundant prosperity through what they're here to do. So our pieces on Manifest Your All is on January 3rd and 4th. We'd love you to come. We gave a special code so that you could even save more money because you're part of Limitless Women. So yay.
Beautiful. Now we'll do our best, my friend, to get that
Yeah,
out. And I want to say one of the things that's important about podcasting and shows is that this is evergreen, right? It'll live
right.
forever. So
Well,
I just want to iterate that if it's not January, if it's February when you're listening
right.
to this, or March or April, May, it's okay.
Yeah,
Still do the download, still get involved, and that
absolutely.
will put you into Amanda's world. And then she'll let you know about what she's currently offering or how you can be supported. This work is work to do anytime. And if you can get it done at the beginning of the year, great. But if you can't, don't hold back. Don't let that
Well,
be
and just
not to
just
do.
know we'll have that event recorded, so it is
Perfect. There you go.
evergreen. So they'll be able to, if they
Tap
want
in
want
anytime.
that, can do it later on, or it's never
Yeah.
too late to start, right?
Yes. Yes. I think that we've got to get people to talk about that. We're like new beginnings at 60 to
Yes,
70.
yes.
Woohoo.
2026, new beginnings,
So good.
innovation, leadership. This year is about leadership. So you're
I
the
like
the
this.
amazing women that are in your community and a few good men that are
Yeah.
in your community, they are here to go to their next level of leadership and legacy. And it's time to shine out there, time to
Yes.
build it, and time to just have fun doing it.
Love that. Yay. All
Yay.
right. Amanda Slade, thank you again so very much for your friendship, for your leadership, for your legacy, and your generosity. And I'm just really honored and privileged to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to
My
share.
pleasure, dear. My pleasure.
Are you a limitless woman? This is your personal invitation to learn how you can join our online community, grow through our business school, and play with us at our live events. Go to limitlesswomen.com for all the details. That's limitlesswomen.com. Thanks for joining us.